Breathe better and sleep deeper with the Levoit Classic 160 Top Fill Humidifier. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description to get your Levoit Top Fill Humidifier on Amazon today and enjoy a healthier, more comfortable home. Welcome to Hoop Headlines, where we dive into the latest NFL news and analysis. Today, we're counting down the top 8 teams from a wild 2024 season that saw some surprising results and incredible comebacks. Coming in at number 8, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this team was fun to watch, but they were also wildly inconsistent. They finished 4th in scoring and 3rd in total yards, which is impressive, but they tied for 10th in turnovers. Quarterback Baker Mayfield had a breakout season, logging career highs in passing yards and touchdown passes, but he also threw 16 interceptions. The team's pass defense struggled mightily, contributing to their losses. Hoop Headlines: it looks like the Buccaneers are still working on that pass defense. In the offseason, they'll be hiring a new offensive coordinator to replace Liam Cohen, who left to become the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Lead skipper Todd Bowles must address this issue, as his team lost 7 of 9 games. Moving up to number 7, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Now, these guys started the season on fire, going 3-0 before running into some tough opponents. They fell short against playoff-caliber teams and struggled on offense, leading to the dismissal of first-time offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb. Despite this, head coach Mike Macdonald has set a good direction for the team, and new offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak must optimize the playmakers in a loaded offense. Hoop Headlines: it's clear that the Seahawks are still working on finding their identity on offense. With talented players like DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Tyler Lockett, Kenneth Walker III, and Zach Charbonnet, they should be able to put up some big numbers. But for now, they're stuck in neutral. Coming in at number 6, we have the Washington Commanders. Now, these guys made a huge leap from last season, going from 4-13 to the NFC Championship game with their best record since 1991. Head coach Dan Quinn and quarterback Jaden Daniels set the foundation for the franchise's bright future, assembling a quality coaching staff that helped expedite Daniels' development. Hoop Headlines: it's clear that the Commanders are on the rise. With Daniels at the helm, they put together jaw-dropping performances that included multiple game-winning drives. They knocked off the number 1-seeded Detroit Lions in one of those contests and made a deep playoff run. This team is looking good for the future. At number 5, we have the Tennessee Titans. Unfortunately, this team tried to fool everyone by acquiring notable veterans in a win-now approach and face-planted early in the season. They started 1-6 before benching their quarterback, Will Levis, late in the season. Levis routinely turned the ball over, throwing 12 interceptions and losing 6 fumbles. Hoop Headlines: it's clear that the Titans are still working on finding a franchise quarterback. Levis had some promising moments, but he couldn't solidify himself as the unquestioned starter. The team's defense showed resistance for much of the season, but their offense was just too turnover-prone to overcome. Coming in at number 4, we have the Denver Broncos. Now, these guys started rookie quarterback Bo Nix against them in Week 1 and came out on top, which is impressive. But beyond that one win, they struggled to put together a consistent season. They lost 7 of their last 9 games, including a tough matchup against the Seahawks. Hoop Headlines: it's clear that the Broncos still working on finding their identity under Nix. They have some talented players, but their offense just couldn't seem to get going. With a new coaching staff and more experience under their belts, they should be able to improve next season. At number 3, we have the Los Angeles Rams. Now, these guys started the season strong, but they lost their way down the stretch. They struggled on defense and couldn't overcome their own mistakes. Despite this, they still managed to finish with a solid record and make a deep playoff run. Hoop Headlines: it's clear that the Rams are still working on finding consistency under new quarterback Tyler Van Gulen. They have some talented players, but their offense just couldn't seem to get going. With more experience under their belts, they should be able to improve next season. Coming in at number 2, we have the Atlanta Falcons. Now, these guys had a remarkable turnaround from last season and made it all the way to the NFC Championship game with their best record since 1991. Quarterback Desiree DZ Johnson had an incredible season, throwing for over 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns. Hoop headlines: it's clear that the Falcons are on the rise. With Johnson at the helm, they put together jaw-dropping performances that included multiple game-winning drives. They made a deep playoff run and should be looking good for next season. And finally, coming in at number 1, we have the Dallas Cowboys. Now, these guys had an incredible season, finishing with the best record in the league. Quarterback Tony Montana had an MVP-worthy season, throwing for over 4,500 yards and 30 touchdowns. The team's defense was rock solid, allowing just over 200 points all season. Hoop headlines: it's clear that the Cowboys are the team to beat next season. With Montana at the helm, they're a force to be reckoned with. They have some talented players, but their offense is looking particularly good. We can't wait to see what they do in 2025.